of women, corrupting her, but she shall not stand on his side, neither be for him. Now again, if we're going to continue with this daughter of women being used to resemble or to describe a religion, to describe Islam, it is and it was the Islamic faith, and the differences and the schism and the conflict even within that Islamic faith that kept this from being successful, that kept this king of the north, call it Saddam, call it whomever, I think Saddam works, but that basically was an impediment to this. Verse 18, after this shall he turn his face unto the isles, the maritime countries, and shall take many. In other words, he would gain some land and some allies here. But a prince for his own behalf shall cause the reproach offered by him to cease. Without his own reproach, he shall cause it to turn upon him. And verse 19, then he shall turn his face toward the fort of his own land, to his own country, trying to strengthen that, put his focus on that. But he shall stumble and fall and not be found. And again, I think especially as we're getting late in the day, late in prophecy here, and in the next verse or two we'll find out just how late in prophecy we really are at this point. I personally think that it fits here with Saddam. Saddam trying to turn his face toward his own country as we made our way over there yet again, and he would stumble and fall. He would lose Iraq, his kingdom. That government, that military would lose to the United States and that coalition, which you might say was kind of a globalist coalition as far as that goes. But that being said, Saddam would stumble, he would be thrown out of power, he would fall, and he would not be found because ultimately, if you want to say he was found, but after he was found, he was tried and hanged. Verse 20, then shall stand up in his estate a raiser of taxes in the glory of the kingdom. But within few days he shall be destroyed, neither in anger nor in battle. This is a very interesting and a very much talked about verse. And this idea of the raiser of taxes. And, there was a time, and I'm certainly not trying to throw the late great pastor, Bible teacher Arnold Murray under the bus, although no man, of course, is perfect. But based off of something that he had said, there was a time that many students of his, including myself, wondered and theorized about whether or not Barack Obama was the raiser of taxes. And if he would have been the raiser of taxes, the way we theorized it would be that he would not complete his time in office. Well, needless to say, he completed his time in office, so I think also, needless to say, he was not the raiser of taxes. This raiser of taxes in the Hebrew, it refers to a taskmaster, a tyrant, an oppressor. And this is just my own theory now, having considered this more, but I think that perhaps we can consider this to be maybe even that first attempt at a one-world system that receives the deadly wound. And I think that makes sense prophetically on the prophetic timeline. I think that makes sense because of who comes in right after the raiser of taxes is kind of taken out of the way. Verse 21, and we're going to find out who comes in. And in his estate shall stand up a vile person. Now, this is a title for the Antichrist, to whom they shall not give the honor of the kingdom, but he shall come in peaceably, and obtain the kingdom by flatteries. So he will come in. Really, And again, during a time, and if we consider this to be, and we know prophetically, we know on the timeline that he comes in to heal the deadly wound of that first political beast. So he will come in during a time in which there is some confusion, some chaos, some unrest, because, again, this is just my theory now, so take it as you will. But what the Kenites or what the tares or what the globalists will need to do, and what they are trying to accomplish, in my opinion, is they want to shake the faith of people all over the world. They want people to lose faith in their country's governments. And you take a look around and you see protest all over the place, and I think clearly that is well on its way, that we're headed down that path. They want the system to collapse. They want, certainly, I believe, the economy to collapse, and they have the means, with the control that they've been given by man and by God. They have the means to collapse the economy, which is a globally connected economy. They have the means to collapse it on their own. And when things go bad, when things collapse, when people lose faith in their government, they will come in and they will provide a solution, a globalist solution that will seem to many, in all likelihood, to be a good idea, because people will look at it as, quite frankly, what other options do we have at this point? They will put together that system, or they will try to put together that system. That system will receive a deadly wound. So, once again, people will be in a state of unrest, in a state of panic, and right then, Mr. Superhero, or so he would have everyone believe, comes in to so-called save the day, bringing peace, bringing prosperity, as most would believe it. It's very interesting when you read this word, or when you go back with this word flatteries, because the word in the Hebrew is flatteries, or it translates to English as flatteries, but when we take it back to its root, which is Hebrew word 2505, kalak, it is a primitive root, and it means to be smooth figuratively, by implication, as smooth stones were used for lots, to apportion or separate. And for those of you who are deep Bible study students, for those of you who are students of Pastor Arnold Murray or of the Shepherd's Chapel, Dennis Murray, you're no doubt very familiar with 666, the interpretation of that, of count the number of the beast, of the word count, meaning to count stones worn smooth over a period of time. And again, those of you who have caught on to that, no doubt have also caught on that basically what we are doing is we are tracking Satan's children over a long period of time. So we have, again, basically the same kind of thing here with this flatteries, and if we connect those two, what do we have? We have Satan's children, who are right at the forefront of putting together the one world system. Verse 22, and with the arms of a flood shall they be overflown from before him, and shall be broken, yea, also the prince of the covenant. Now, this flood, God promised in Genesis, after the flood of Noah, of course, that the world would never again be destroyed by a flood. So, what is this flood that the little horn, that the vile person, that the Antichrist will bring in to wash people away, to overflow people? Well, you can read of it, of course, in Revelation chapter 12. I'll go there. I'll go as quickly as I can. I've only got about 5 minutes or so. Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, And there was war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels. Verse 8, and prevailed not. Satan did not win that war. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. 9, and the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent, from the Garden of Eden even, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. Now, a lot of people believe that that's already happened, and certainly I believe that it has not. We must realize that this book of Revelation and the revelation of John was given to John from the Lord's Day, the first day of the millennium of the second advent of Christ, and working backward from there. So it is past from that perspective to John, but still yet future to us. Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and the kingdom of our God, and the power of his Christ. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our God day and night. 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb, and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death. Now, how did they overcome Satan? By their own might and fanciness? No, by the blood of the Lamb, by salvation through Christ, by the word of their testimony, by their belief and their willingness to stand for Christ, and loving their lives not unto the death, meaning that, and as has happened down through the years and happens still today, that if it would come down to it, they would be willing to lay down their lives for their faith. Verse 12, therefore rejoice ye in heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time. And again, a short time, again, if we're talking during the tribulation, originally 3.5 years, I believe now shortened to 5 months or 2.5 months. So a very short time indeed. But again, when he's thrown out of heaven and having a short time, that should clue you in even that didn't happen long ago, that it is yet still to happen or still future to us. Probably not too far into the future, but future nonetheless. 13, and when the dragon saw that he was cast unto the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man-child, which is basically all of Israel, of the natural seed line of Israel. Not necessarily that nation Israel, but the people that are descended from those tribes. 14, and to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she was nourished for a time and times and half a time from the face of the serpent. 15, and the serpent cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. Now, he's not going to open his mouth and a bunch of water or a river comes spewing out. He's going to open his mouth and a flood of lies will come spewing out to deceive anyone who will buy into those. But again, God will help those who have eyes to see, ears to hear, understanding as to just who he is. Back into Daniel, verse 23. And after the league made with him, he shall work deceitfully, for he shall come up and shall become strong with a small people. And again, this small people. And I better stop here after I get through this, because I got just over a minute left. But this small people, it refers to, and I'm going to actually, hopefully quickly go into the Strongs and pull it up. Not that you'll see it, but, well, this is going a little slower than I wanted to. Basically, it can refer to locust, a swarm or a gathering of locusts. Interestingly enough, it can also refer to goy. And it's very interesting in a sense, because they use goy as a derogatory word for Gentiles, what they call Gentiles, when actually in the Bible they are the goy. But regardless, he will become strong with a small people, meaning his children. That is all the time that I have for now. Probably would have liked to cover a little more, but I did get rather detailed. Hopefully not too detailed for you. I'll be back next time, and we may be able to finish the book of Daniel in the next podcast. Certainly we'll make an effort to. Everybody take care. Have a great day. God bless.
1, 2, 3, 4.